So after making the SR latch, what we did simply we just used we first of all we eliminated the button, the reset button, and what we are trying to do here is by just one button we are trying to doing the set and reset thing. So if I just this, as you can see, so it's kind of mess, but what we're trying to do here exactly is with just single input we can achieve two inputs, or two multiple outputs, or two multiple outcomes with just a single input. So with one we are essentially setting it, and with a zero we can reset it. So I actually set it, so it actually went initially into reset state, so it can adopt any state anyone. But as you can see, it's not able to retaining it. What I did here is, as Ben also showed, is using these two input. As you can see, this wire, this right here, is connected to the output and input to a NOR gate. No, it's basically the input of both the NOR gates. So it's both inputs, and then there is this output. So an input is getting fed into the both inputs here. So this is basically what we're doing here. So with this button, we are getting this output, and we're sourcing both into the same NOR gate and getting that output up here, which we essentially getting back previously from this button here, which is the reset button. So we're not doing that anymore, and that's what we did. So we got a signal. Now we able to came to an step where we have now a signal which is coming from a single source. We don't now necessarily have these two buttons, but now we ran into a problem where we just essentially not able to attain a single state, which is a problem. So how we can rectify it? The way that which Ben showed is using an enable signal to tell the NOR gate, to tell this IC 02 IC 74LS02 that when to essentially change the state. Because what is going on is, as soon as we change the state, it went to the set state, but as soon as I release it, it again went to the reset. Why? Because the state is changing. So we have to tell this chip that when we are essentially trying to make the state change, if you remember into the previous SR latch video, if we change the state to the reset from set, and no matter how many times we press the set, the state is not going to change. As with the same thing, if the state essentially in the set, and if you try to do set pressing multiple times, it just basically does nothing. So that's what we want to achieve here. So let me just introduce an AND gate, because what he did is he used the single NOT gate, which we essentially have right now here, and used two AND gates from the single 08 chip, and over there he supplied an enable signal, and from there we can have essentially can achieve the level of depend level of knowing the state, telling the chip that, hey, you can now store this input, you can now store this input, you can either change the state or whether we want it or not. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it. I think I'm confusing it a lot. Okay, so here what I did is I've added an AND gate here, sorry, and then there is an enable signal, and as usual the data signal is here. And if you just turn this up, as you can see, it's going into the set state, and if you want to reset it, no matter what we do here now at the data button, it's not going to change unless and until we press the enable signal. So if you so if you press the enable signal correctly, and if we release the enable signal, it remains in that state, and then again it doesn't changes until and unless we swap it with the enable signal, and if we just release it, it stays in the set state. So that's what we able to achieve with the usage of two AND gates. And here it's simple, it's the two inputs here, these are the inputs. So one is coming from the enable signal, and one is this single data signal here, and the other data signal is going into the NOR gate, as usually it was going there. So it is getting into a NOT gate, so it's now becoming a NOT. So this white wire right now shows the NOT input, which is going into the other AND gate here, and the another signal which is coming from the enable button. And then here are two outputs which are from the AND gate, which are going into the NOR gates here, as you can see here with the circuit also. So the AND gate is having enable data signal, which is NOR gate, sending here and here, and then going into the two NOR gates, and we hence be able to have the set and reset. So this is basically D latch, and earlier you can think that circuit as SR latch again, with just a single signal, and we can also have here reset and set button, one state which I eliminated here and worked on this. So here it's a simple structure. It's quite messy. It seems messy, but uh, it's as simple as these two are outputs of the AND gate, two enable signals, red and orange, and here the green wire is the signal which is coming from the data button as usual, and the white wire here, which is this, is showing the not signal. So it's basically the zero ground. That's what I'm taking here white as, and that's the circuit for the T latch. And hence now we are able to have a definite state, and we are also being able to preserve the state of the set and reset. We are now able to know at which gate it's going to be open, and pretty much I think, yeah, or maybe we don't know, maybe we know that, yeah, we maybe know that. Okay, so that's for this video, and I have to now merge two videos because I got a bit late. I have to go to do some work, and now the video got unpaused because the pixel trying to save device getting more overheating. So that's a crazy thing. So just bye.